The truth of the origin of suffering. If you want to eliminate suffering, you must endeavor to uproot its cause. Suffering will not naturally cease by itself. The second noble truth reveals the origin of suffering, which consists of mental afflictions and karma. Mental afflictions. There are three main mental afflictions: desire, hatred, and ignorance. Desire is the fixation on objects, such as wealth, power, status, friends, and loved ones. In short, to feel anything or any person desirable and thus cling to it is called desire. If you fall prey to such emotion, there will be endless suffering, so you must try all means to rid yourself of desire. Hatred is the mental state that wishes others to suffer and also feels anger toward others. What is the cause of hatred? It arises when you or your loved ones are harmed or your enemies are benefited by others. These are the main reasons for hatred to arise. If you don't put an end to it, you will certainly experience unceasing suffering. So, you must also eradicate this destructive emotion. Ignorance means not knowing what to do and what not to do, and having no idea of practicing virtue and abstaining from non-virtue. There are two types of ignorance: that which comes from not understanding and that which comes from misunderstanding. The first refers to lacking understanding of the purpose of this life. Although you have been born as humans in the southern continent, Jambudvipa, different from other forms of life. If you have no religious belief at all and never work hard to practice virtue and abstain from non-virtue, just idling your time and being in a daze all day long, you would be living like cows and horses, for example. Animals also have the intention to seek food and water and to evade harm and disasters. If you just survive with no spiritual pursuit, you would be the same as animals, with the mere difference that animals don't wear clothes, but you do. In this world, there are three major religions and various minor ones. It is important that you choose one to follow. Otherwise, to waste away your days without a spiritual pursuit is indeed a type of ignorance. When I was in California, I saw many cows on pastures that were to be slaughtered in the future. However, none of the cows ever tried to escape. They just grazed in the pasture leisurely. Likewise, some people believe that they do not need to embrace a spiritual tradition, have no thought about their spiritual pursuit, and simply indulge themselves in ordinary material pleasures. In this way, they may live a life no better than those cows. You should not waste your life like this. The second type of ignorance coming from misunderstanding refers to the case in which you have a religious belief, but it does not provide you with the true reality of the world. Before joining a religion, you must carefully examine it, try to observe its authenticity, and consult others for more information. It is not wise to follow a religious tradition impulsively without careful observation and analysis. As a matter of fact, concerning the food you eat in a day, you will examine whether it is delicious, hygienic, and good for your health or not. So, even choosing food requires careful observation. Needless to say how important it is to choose a belief that concerns your everlasting happiness in all future lives. You must employ deliberate consideration before following a religion. Some people show zeal for one religion and hatred for another for no reason. This is irrational. You need to use logical analysis and give meticulous consideration to your spiritual journey regarding its path and its destination. During this process, it is necessary to make a thorough and in-depth investigation to figure out which doctrine is correct and which is wrong, which is beneficial and which is not. To join a religion hastily, without any logical judgment, is truly silly, and you must not behave like this. Karma. The second cause of suffering is negative karma, so you must abstain from each and every negative action. The first negative act to forsake is killing. Whoever you are, you must abstain from killing. Some religious traditions only forbid killing people and claim that killing other forms of life is harmless. But if you think carefully, you will know that all forms of life, whatever they are afraid of death and will feel pain when being killed. Therefore, there is no reason for anyone to kill any sentient being. Even a small ant cherishes its life and will try all means to avoid harm and protect itself. All sentient beings are equally the same and suffer the same way as you do. So the act of killing should be absolutely abandoned from its very root. The second is stealing. If out of a selfish intent you steal the possessions that belong to others, such an act will hurt those people and also incur misfortune to yourself. So the act of stealing must be abandoned. The third is lying. If you seriously cheat others through lies, this act will cause them to be greatly harmed and plagued with unexpected problems. Meanwhile, it degrades your quality of being a dignified person. So, you should quit lying. The fourth is sexual misconduct. To engage in sexual misconduct with another's wife or husband incurs negativity, just like the aforementioned negative deeds. The reason is that people usually have the strongest affection for their husband or wife and cling to them the most. So, engaging in sexual misconduct with someone who is already married to another will incur much worse negative karma than stealing. The fifth is drinking alcohol. Alcohol can be the fundamental cause of all negative acts, so you must abstain from it. Alcohol consumption not only causes many health problems, but also brings about obstacles to Dharma practice. If people are intoxicated, they get dull-minded and are inclined to lose control of themselves, at which time they will likely break all other precepts. That is why you must quit drinking alcohol. To refrain from drinking alcohol and the above-mentioned 4 misdeeds in terms of physical conduct and speech is called the 5 precepts. For anyone who follows the Buddhist path, it is better to abstain from all 5 of these actions. By doing so, you will accumulate inconceivable great merit. If on the basis of forsaking these misdeeds, you take the pratimoksha vows of a lay practitioner and protect your mind stream by observing these vows carefully, then the merit accumulated will be 100 or even 1,000 times greater. Such being the case, it is better for you to take the pratimoksha vows of a lay practitioner and practice virtue with such a commitment.